Oh, welcome back to another episode. This is going to be a pretty short one since these two chapters are also pretty short chapters. So, that being said, let's just get right into it. Chapter 11 The Warning. We began to approach the road as people moved about in their casual way as they were carrying out their business. We began to merge with the crowd as I followed Adton through the hordes of people, making sure no one robbed anything from my bag. I couldn't fit all of my armor into it, so I wrapped up the rest of the armor with cloth, and gave it to Adton for him to carry. We walked for a few minutes as we kept a close eye on the guards that had passed, as we pushed closer into the middle of the crowd of people to avoid being seen. It's only a matter of time before we get spotted or recognized at this point. After a few more minutes of walking, I began to recognize some of the buildings we were approaching. Adton. This area looks familiar. Where exactly are we going to warn the people? I asked him while trying to hide my face from the crowd. I'm not exactly sure. I was thinking maybe the tavern we went into to get drinks that one day. You know, the day you flipped me over the table, Adton tells me while looking ahead of the crowd. I smile a little bit as I remember the whole moment before beginning to talk to him. Oh yeah, I remember that place. Sounds like a good place to start for me. Because telling a bunch of drunk people that there is an attack coming is a great idea, I tell Adton sarcastically. On second thought, let's just go there to grab some food and talk about this further, Adton says as we walk into the tavern we visited a couple days ago. We don't have time. We need to warn people now, I raise my voice at Adton in a worried tone as I notice a few people look at me. I understand that, but we need to take a moment to calm down. And we do need to get some food, Adton explains to me while he turns and looks at me. I suppose you're right, but we do need to warn the people as soon as possible, I tell him while holding in my frustration. We walk into the familiar tavern as not much has changed. People are drinking and chatting with their barmaids as a few couples go out back to get some alone time. I follow Adton up to where the innkeeper is. Walking up to the counter, I notice that it is the same innkeeper that was here last time. He still wears the same clothes that match his ginger hair. His style stands out among others as it is completely unique to this area. I recognize you guys. Let me guess, you want more milk? The innkeeper says to Adton as he smiles and mocks him slightly. Yes, I would like some more milk, as well as some food for the both of us, Adton says while he laughs. I'll cover your order today. What would you like this time, young lady? The bartender asks me while smiling. Surprise me, I tell him while I try to get my mind off things. Alrighty, I will send my servant your way with the drinks once I get them made, the innkeeper says as we begin to head to a table. My goodness, stumbling all over words today. Thank you, Adton says as he begins to walk away. As we begin to head to our table, I occasionally glance at some of the people chatting. One man sitting at the table looks at me with a threatening glare. His hood is just barely showing his eyes. I find a table for Adton and I sit at it as I occasionally look over to where the hooded man was. Adton puts my stuff on the ground next to him as we sit at the table and begin to talk further. We need to talk to King Irvin again, Adton tells me while he sits down. Last time we did that, it didn't go well, I tell him while looking around the tavern. Warning him of an attack is more of something he might actually take heed to, Adton says while he looks up behind us as if someone was approaching. Here's your food and drinks you requested, the servant says as he sits down the plate with our food and drinks. Thank you, Adton tells him as he walks off to go service another table of people. Do you ever take things seriously? I ask him while reaching for my glass. Yes, but I tend to play it off with jokes. Why does everyone have to be so serious all the time? Adton says as he starts eating some of the food. When people don't take things seriously, that's when things get serious, I tell Adton while slamming my glass of ale on the table. You don't think I know that? Adton says in a low and serious voice as he stares up at me with an intimidating look. Oh, that actually scared me a little. I'm sorry. I just don't want the same thing that happened to my people to happen to these people, I tell him while grabbing some food to eat. Is that ale? Adton asks me while setting his glass of milk down. Yes, I tell him while I look at the glass. Not much of a good idea to drink before an attack, is it? Adton tells me again in a serious tone. You're probably right, as I set the glass off to the side. Adton offers me his glass of milk as I take a few drinks from it to at least have something to drink before giving the glass back to him. Look, I get it. I know what it feels like to know something everyone else doesn't. To know that if you don't act, people will die. That is a lesson I learned the hard way, Etten tells me while looking down at the table, gripping his glass tighter. We are both a lot alike. I look around the room as I notice the guy with the hood has disappeared and is no longer sitting where he was. Looking over at his seat, I notice a bounty picture with our faces on it, laying on the wall right behind where the hooded man was sitting. Etten, look over there, I say while I point out on the picture on the wall. You have got to be kidding me. This mission just got a whole lot harder, Etten says as he sees the picture. Etten and I then stand up and begin to head out as a few people begin to look at us with a judging look and suspicion. I think they know about us. Etten grabs my stuff and we begin to head towards the doorway, but a few people start to block our exit as they try to keep us from leaving. Where do you think you two are going? A man says as he stands right in front of us. What do you think you are doing? I tell the man as I step in front of Etten. Etten then turns around and watches my back as he begins to show off his sword so people know we are armed. Hey, not in my tavern, people. I just got a job here about a week ago. I would hate to have this place demolished after I just got hired. Take it outside, the tavern keeper says as he points towards the doorway. You wouldn't want to have wanted criminals in your tavern, would you, mate? Another man says in an accent that I have never heard before. My job is to serve people food and drinks, not arrest criminals, the ginger-haired tavern keeper says to the crowd. I know what these two are capable of. I saw them in that arena, the man in front of me says as he walks closer to me. If you knew what we were capable of, then you wouldn't want to be standing in front of me now, would you? I tell the man in a calm but threatening tone. Outside the tavern, I hear a bunch of horses stop outside as the sound of heavy metallic armor heads towards the entrance to the tavern. The horse riders enter the tavern and begin to push the crowd of people blocking the exit away as they approach us. We are members of the Royal Knights of Hyvalon. We are here to arrest you and bring you to the king, the soldiers say as they raise their shields. This is not good. Chapter 12. The Escort. The man in front of me smirks from the sidelines as the soldiers encircle us. I immediately notice these soldiers are wearing heavier armor than those guarding the king's throne room. The silver plates gleam under the dim light of the tavern, intricate patterns of vibrant red etched into the metal. A soldier steps forward, his shield raised, sword in hand. He widens his stance and approaches cautiously, his boots clinking against the wooden floor. Yeah, this was a brilliant idea of yours, I mutter sarcastically to Etten. Let's just walk into a tavern despite being wanted criminals. Great thinking! Okay, maybe not my best idea, Etten admits, attempting to suppress a laugh. But I was hungry. Hungry? Seriously? Oh, you'll be thinking hungry when I shove my sword down your throat, I reply, my voice tinged with exasperation. Can we talk about this later? Etten quips, stepping closer to me. His expression shifts to something more serious as he faces the soldiers. We won't resist. Take us to Urban. We only want to speak with him. With a deliberate motion, he sheathes his swords. Don't move, unless you want to lose your head, the soldier closest to him growls, pointing his spear. His gaze remains fixed on Etten, but his voice carries a threat meant for both of us. Another soldier steps forward, gesturing for us to follow. Come with me. Try anything, and we will kill you. His tone is cold, calculated, but I catch the faintest hesitation in his movements as he turns his back to me. It's an odd choice for someone so well trained. As the circle tightens around us, I glance at Etten. He's walking with a loose, almost carefree gait, as if he's oblivious to the danger. The soldier behind us barks. Hand over your bags and weapons. Reluctantly, I surrender my sword. Etten follows suit, removing his swords and my armor before handing them over. Load the stuff onto the horses. We'll walk the rest of the way. Tanner, take the horses back to the stables, the leader orders. Yes, sir, Tanner replies, breaking off from the group. I count the remaining soldiers, 7, all maintaining a tight formation around us. The tavern falls silent as patrons watch with a mix of fear and curiosity. I feel their eyes on us, their whispers a dull hum beneath the clinking of armor. You guys look different from the soldiers at the keep we saw the other day, I say to the lead soldier, attempting to break the tense silence. We're a special division tasked with dealing with Tians like you, he replies, his voice flat but firm. All due respect, sir. Nix isn't a Tian, Etten interjects, his tone measured. The soldier doesn't even glance back. In my book, anyone with magic is the same. Murderers who kill the moment things don't go their way. Etten shakes his head. Not everyone with magic is like that, he says. His voice holds a quiet determination. But a nearby soldier silences him with a jab from the butt of his spear. Atten, I don't think they care, I say, my voice low and somber. Atten doesn't back down. That's what we must change. People need to realize magic isn't the problem. We pass through the marketplace, the bustling energy now replaced by a wary quiet. The cobblestone streets lead us into a wealthier district, where the horses are constructed from polished stone and dark wood. Their facades adorned with intricate carvings. This must be where the nobles live. Have any questions for us? Atten asks, his voice breaking the silence. The lead soldier responds without turning around. We only speak when addressed first. That's an odd rule, I remark. The soldier beside me glances over. Odd or not, laws are laws. We follow them, whether we understand them or not. I meet his gaze. Those who follow laws blindly walk the path to destruction. His expression hardens. Keep moving and keep quiet, he snaps. As we ascend a set of wide stone stairs, my mind drifts to the whirlwind of events over the past few days. Leaving the house in the woods, returning to my home, the visions, the deal with pirates, sneaking into the kingdom, the arena. It's overwhelming. Yet here we are, marching toward the unknown. Atten's voice pulls me from my thoughts. Everything will be okay, he says softly. I glance at him. How can you be so sure? He smiles. Because now you have me. A calm washes over me. For the first time in what feels like forever, I believe him. Out of the corner of my eye, I catch a flicker of movement in an alleyway between two tall houses. Two glowing white circles, eyes, stare back at me. My breath catches. Atten, look! I point, locking eyes with the figure. What? Atten asks, but the eyes vanish before he can see them. I saw them again. Those white eyes. They were right there. My voice trembles slightly as I explain, but the soldiers pay no mind. What are you two gawking at? Keep moving before we use force, the lead soldier growls. The rest of the journey is silent. We pass wealthy merchants and nobles, their fine clothing a stark contrast to the peasants we encountered earlier. This path feels more secure, hidden from prying eyes. At last, we reach the grand doors of the King's Keep. The lead soldier turns to us. Thank you for your cooperation. Your fate now rests in King Irvin's hands. Choose your words carefully. The massive doors creak open, sunlight spilling into the pearl floor. The golden glow reflects off the towering pillars and intricate murals. It's breathtaking in its splendor, a stark contrast to the tension simmering in the air. As we step inside, the throne comes into view. King Irvin sits atop it, his gaze steady as he awaits our approach. And that's it for these two chapters. Again, these are also pretty short chapters. I don't know why. Like, chapters 9 to 12 have just been like the shortest chapters in the whole book. I think this was kind of around the time where I was kind of off and on writing. And, yeah. But, yeah, this is... Things are getting interesting. And I kind of like how Nyx is kind of going back through and kind of like recalling through some of the events that's like happened, because there's just been so much that honestly has happened to them in just 12 chapters, and we're only on page 72. So much has happened with these two characters. You're on this journey. You know, Nyx and Atten tend to be like kind of polar opposites with how they act, which is a little funny because, you know, as Nyx is pointing out, do you ever take anything serious? And you know, Atten's like, no, nah, what's the point of being serious? But yeah, now nothing really interesting happens in these chapters. These were pretty much kind of just filler chapters, so I'm not really expecting any comments for this one. This was just kind of a bridge from chapter 10 to chapter 13. Yeah, not much really happens here. But yeah, I mean, I hope you're enjoying the book so far. And yeah, I'm putting this out on Sunday again because I straight up forgot to do this yesterday, and I was showing people a bunch of movies yesterday, so I was all over the place. So yeah, anyways, see you guys in the next episode. We will be doing chapter 13 and 14. So it's gonna get interesting in 13 and 14, trust me. But adios.